And the Patriots go on the road to face Jarrett Stidham, a backup quarterback favorite over Denver and Sean Payton. With New England, a lot of people are like, you can tell, well, they're not quite special enough. Well, is Mike Vrabel a top 5 coach? Is Josh McDaniel a top 3 coordinator? Is Drake Maye a top 10 quarterback? Their defense is top 5. I don't see what people aren't seeing. They're absolutely good enough to win a Super Bowl. I don't think they should be favored. Their cornerbacks are outstanding. They get consistent pressure. They run the ball effectively. And, Keyshawn Butte made the catch of the year. So, Diggs was valuable. Drake Maye made 3 straight big throws on that 1 touchdown drive. They remind me a lot of the Belichick-Brady Patriots, where I'm not sure outside of quarterback, Drake Maye and Tom Brady. Outside of quarterback, I don't know if they're great anywhere, but they're really good everywhere, and they're awful nowhere. And with NFL coaching, you just can't be bad anywhere. You can't have a massive hole. They don't. They struggled to block, the rush ends for Houston. Look, Will Anderson, good luck. He's our Lawrence Taylor. Nobody's blocking him. So Drake Maye against the number 2 defense in bad weather, 3 touchdowns and a 101 passer rating and good movement. Seems pretty good to me. They're very much like the old Patriots. They give you about 1 to 2 big plays offensively, and when you need them to execute at a high level, they do. So if you look at the Patriots this year, including the playoffs, they're number 1 in yardage differential. They're number 5 in points a game, number 3 in points allowed. So New England, I lived there for a decade. The New England region isn't a flashy region. There's a ton of wealth. Newport, Rhode Island, Nantucket, the Cape, Boston, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, but it's not ostentatious considering the wealth. And that's a little bit like the Patriots. The Patriots in Boston appreciate intelligence and toughness and resilience and efficiency and discipline. And I kind of feel like the Patriots have always been the region. They're not going to be flashy despite having talent. Yeah, Seattle's more dynamic and the Rams are more experienced and the Denver Broncos probably have a bit more of a star-studded roster, but I absolutely believe New England is good enough to win the Super Bowl.
It is genuinely astonishing that we find ourselves expending such considerable effort to persuade individuals of this seemingly self-evident reality. The entire narrative centered on they only defeated a single team with a winning record, or whatever similar rhetoric is being propagated, is fundamentally flawed. I vividly recall stating that, when evaluating factors such as age, physical condition, and contractual value, I would select Drake Maye over any other quarterback currently in the league. The immediate reaction from many was one of derision. That's absurd. You have to choose Lamar Jackson. Others countered, what about Patrick Mahomes? He's won 3 Super Bowls. My position remains unchanged. I am unconcerned with past accolades or legacy discussions in this context. The hypothetical is straightforward. If tasked with choosing a quarterback at this moment to inaugurate a franchise, with due consideration given to age, health, and financial investment, the selection is unequivocally Drake Maye. It is a decision requiring no secondary contemplation. The answer is Drake Maye. Are you certain? Absolutely. It is that definitive. Witnessing his performance in a playoff contest of this magnitude only serves to reinforce that conviction. In a game where he absorbed significant pressure, committed turnovers, and operated in less than ideal weather conditions, his composure was the defining characteristic. None of those adversities proved consequential. His demeanor throughout the matchup was reminiscent of a casual, intense outdoor game among friends during the late autumn or winter months, perhaps around Thanksgiving or in December. The setting is messy, muddy, snowy, rainy, cold. Among the group, there is always that one individual who is exceptionally talented but possesses a subdued personality. He isn't particularly boisterous. He doesn't laugh uproariously, yell, or engage in trash talk. He is simply present to compete. He is quieter, more reserved, yet remains a formidable athlete, large, strong, and capable. This evokes memories of a childhood friend of mine who embodied those exact traits, a phenomenal athlete who could simply play, entirely indifferent to the surrounding noise and fanfare. Meanwhile, I and others would be the ones sprinting around, shouting and joking. He would just methodically get the job done. Whether he executed a spectacular touchdown pass, made an incredible catch, or threw an interception, his reaction was consistently placid, a simple, whatever. This is precisely what Drake Maye embodies at present. The magnitude of the moment does not perturb him. He neither becomes excessively animated nor withdraws from the occasion. He simply exists within it, unaffected. There is an immense, understated power in that disposition, a formidable psychological strength. I observed a quarterback this past weekend, I won't specify whom, who executed a solid, though not extraordinary, play at an absolutely critical juncture of the game. The significance of that moment cannot be overstated. Following the play, he stepped forward, gazed into the crowd, and puffed out his chest. My internal reaction was one of bewilderment. What are you doing? The fact that your mind allocated even a fraction of a second to that performative gesture, rather than being wholly engrossed in processing the subsequent necessary action, is utterly baffling to me. It is irrational. What is the purpose? This contrast only deepens my appreciation for what Drake Maye contributes. It is remarkably gratifying for me personally that the 4 teams remaining in the conference championships align with my stated convictions. The Rams, whom I trust most, the Seahawks and Broncos, which I consider my teams, and the Patriots, led by Drake Maye. I have never hesitated to anoint Drake Maye as a special elite talent. The volume of pushback I receive, with cautions like, let's see what he does next year, or he's had the easiest schedule ever, has become almost humorous. I have reached a point in comment sections where my responses are succinct. Sure, LOL. Yep, nailed it. Because genuinely, what more is there to say? If you cannot recognize and appreciate what you are witnessing with Drake Maye and this Patriots squad, I am at a loss for how to enlighten you. Truly. Now, the emerging narrative suggests they have benefited from a facile path. Indeed, they are exerting effort to frame it as such. Facing the Houston Texans, whose quarterback, C.J. Stroud, has not been at his peak? Confronting the Denver Broncos, who may be starting a backup quarterback? While that presents a notable advantage, it would be premature to dismiss the Broncos entirely. I maintain a degree of optimism for them, a topic for another video. Then, opposing the Los Angeles Chargers with a decimated offensive line. These are valid points. However, I can state categorically that it is immaterial. If the New England Patriots were to defeat a Nick Foles-led team in the Super Bowl, would anyone question the validity of Tom Brady's ring if Foles had played poorly? The response would be indifference. I have my championship ring. The circumstances are irrelevant. Everyone is entitled to that rhetorical game. They can engage in it indefinitely. At the end of the day, it simply does not matter. Patrick Mahomes secured a Super Bowl victory against Jimmy Garoppolo. When engaging in greatest of all time debates, we can certainly note that context. It is fair commentary. But when discussing the accomplishments of your own franchise, your team, and what you are striving to achieve, such qualifications hold little weight. If everyone wishes to proclaim this as the most effortless path in NFL history, so be it. Continue saying it. The reality is, we are victorious. We are in the conference championship game. The underlying anxiety is palpable, reflected in memes and comments. This pervasive dread that the Patriots could construct another dynasty, that they could return to prominence. The collective sentiment seems to be, oh no, not again. Am I peculiar for feeling utterly indifferent to that prospect? I do not comprehend the trepidation. I watched an extensive amount of football during the Tom Brady Patriots era. If the Patriots were to ascend to the summit once more, with a completely new identity, new coach, new quarterback, new faces throughout the organization, it simply does not resonate with me as a continuation of the past. Perhaps if Bill Belichick were still at the helm, it would feel different. This feels like an entirely distinct entity. The resistance to their success simply does not land with me. This perspective may also be influenced by my personal history. I spent a significant amount of time in New England, though not in the affluent enclaves Colin often references. My experience was in the mountains of Vermont and New Hampshire. I hold a deep affection for Boston. It ranks among my favorite cities. I admire its architecture. To this day, distributing water on Marathon Monday remains one of the most profoundly cool experiences of my entire life. Riding the T, I believe that's the term, I won't pretend to be a Boston expert, into the city, crammed alongside fans, heading to a simultaneous baseball game, experiencing the unique atmosphere of Marathon Monday, and visiting the local establishments was incredible. Remaining later in the day to witness the more everyday runners completing the marathon was equally amazing. If you have not experienced Marathon Monday, you are genuinely missing out. Yet, it is undeniably amusing to observe the sheer desperation with which people wish for this team not to succeed. They are desperate for the Patriots not to be formidable. They are desperate for Drake Maye not to be the phenomenal player he is. But he is. They are. That is the reality. Life presents challenges. One must simply equip oneself to face them. Those are my comprehensive reflections. I am exceedingly eager to hear your own. What are your thoughts regarding the New England Patriots? How much confidence do you place in Drake Maye to accomplish the task at hand, to guide the team back to the promised land, to reach and ultimately win the Super Bowl? Please share your perspectives in the comments below. I assiduously read every single comment. Whether you find yourself in agreement or vehement disagreement with my analysis, let us engage in dialogue. Let us have some spirited debates, but ultimately, let us simply enjoy the discourse. Please consider subscribing to the channel. We are cultivating a phenomenal community here, and would be absolutely delighted to have you participate. I aim to build something with which we all feel a genuine connection, something we are authentically excited to be part of, and I believe we are making significant strides toward that objective. Also, please do not forget to like this video, as it substantially assists with visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you immensely for your time. I look forward to our next interaction.